Hey, Susan, according to state-run Syrian media and Russian military officials, dozens of families have left the besieged rebel-controlled eastern parts of Aleppo, Syria. Up to 300,000 civilians are trapped there as food supplies have begun running low. Earlier this week, the Syrian government, along with the Russian military, set up 4 humanitarian corridors, 3 for civilians and a 4th for armed rebels, so that those people can escape these battle areas. The civilians are being taken to makeshift shelters the government has set up in the western parts of Aleppo. Those shelters can accommodate about 3,000 civilians. Syrian TV also showed some rebels surrendering to Syrian government troops.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the news in English from the Syrian Arab television in Damascus. Tens of families went out of the eastern neighborhoods of Aleppo while a number of gunmen turned themselves into units of the Syrian army. The families went out through the corridors Aleppo governorate has specified for the safety departure of the civilians besieged by the terrorist groups in the eastern neighborhoods.
Rebel fighters have been offered amnesty for the next 3 months if they surrender and lay down their arms. Rebel leaders are encouraging people, though, to stay. They say the true goal behind these corridors is to remove civilians from the eastern parts of Aleppo so government forces can easily attack the rebels.
We say to all the inhabitants of the free neighborhoods, we assure them that we do not need the opening of corridors with the regime. We promise you that soon, Aleppo will be liberated if God wants.
Government aircraft have been dropping leaflets on the besieged area encouraging civilians to leave. Russian officials say they may open 4 more corridors in the coming days, but there are reports that the rebels, the opposition fighters in that besieged area of Aleppo, are preventing civilians from leaving via these routes. Susan?
Jim, how is the international community reacting to all of this?
So the United States backs some of the rebel groups. They're wary of these corridors. The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry says they could be a, quote, ruse meant to give a tactical advantage to government troops while being presented to the world as a humanitarian effort. The Russians, however, say these corridors could help set the stage for future negotiations between the government and the rebels. Meantime, the United Nations supports the idea of civilian corridors out of these areas of Aleppo, but they would like to control those routes. They're calling for a 48-hour ceasefire to allow civilians to safely exit the conflict zone.
Jim Spellman in the newsroom, thank you with that.